Hey guys, welcome to Thursday, Storm Thursday, apparently. I hope everyone stays safe tomorrow. But I did oftentimes if there's a storm, and I don't think it's good. I mean, hopefully it's nothing more than just a little bit of wind and a lot of rain. And a good day to just stay inside. A lot of times that's a day to think. At least that's what I like to use those days for, and I think you do too. And thinking is sometimes, well, what's the next stage of our life? Should we buy a home? Right? And it's a good thought. So I wanted to give some food for thought because there's a lot of people kind of on the fence right now about buying. And I understand that. I really do. Um, and what I mean by on the fence is there's two questions, right? One is, what are we going to, our home price is going to fall dramatically. And the answer there I can answer for you is no, they're not. Now we're finding an equilibrium right now, right? And I totally get that. The equilibrium is between buyers and sellers. Home prices went up 43% on average nationally over the last couple of years. That's just unprecedented. So the new normal, you're seeing price cuts and things like that. Well, that's just balancing. It's like, where is the normal? Where do buyers and sellers want to meet? And those that are priced right, those homes that are priced right, are averaging 16 days on market right now. 16. The normal market is like 90. And so, yeah, it's a hot market and there's a lack of inventory. It's supply and demand. That's what it comes down to. It's the easiest way to put it. So there's a severe lack of supply based on demand or pent up demand. So that part. But then the question comes, I don't think home prices are going down. In fact, no serious economist that I follow thinks home prices are going down. They think they're going up, just not at a 20% per year rate, but at a somewhere between 3 and 7% rate. So they're still rising. Then the question comes of, what about interest rates, right? And so I prepared this as a hypothetical, but it's something I see almost every day. So it's very realistic. So I said, what if you were looking in Charleston County, and you're looking for about a $400,000 purchase price, and currently you're renting, and you're renting a house, and you're paying about $2,400 plus a little bit of renter's insurance. So you're about $2,400 roughly in rent, right? How would that compare with today's rates? So here's the other side. So one side is you're renting. Let's compare that to buying. So then you have to look at, well, what are you doing? So it's a $400,000 house. You put 5% down payment. You can buy it with 3 or 3.5%, or even zero if it's a VA loan, right? But I just put 5% down. So you have PMI and et cetera. And I said, what if you bought on Monday of this week when rates literally hit 7%, right? Thankfully, they've dipped a little bit below that now, and I hope that trend continues. But it's a high rate compared to a year ago, no doubt. It's double what it was a year ago. So let's say you buy at 7%, right? And let's also assume, these are my assumptions, that home prices do go up. And I'm going off the historical appreciation rate, which is about 4% per year. Now, the average of most serious economists say they're going to go up about 5% per year. Homes will. So we could forecast that too. Or we could do a custom. If you have a thought and you want to run this scenario, reach out to me. We'll run it for you. If you're like, no, I think they're going up by maybe 2%, or they're going to go down 1% a year, we can do a custom thing like that. But I'm going to leave it at the historical 4% per year. Here's what it looks like. So the first thing you would see is your payment goes up, right? And it is from rent to buying, your payment goes up when you include taxes, insurance, PMI, everything. And let's say you're in the home for 9 years. Well, if you're in the home for 9 years, your cash flow out of pocket is like $12,000 worse by buying as opposed to renting. So pure cash flow out of pocket, $12,000 over 9 years. You're paying more out of pocket. However, here's where the numbers get interesting. And this is what most people don't take into account. And I think you should at least consider it, right? Most of that, well, all of that 12,000 plus some just goes from your right pocket into your left pocket. It goes from what you've earned and taken home to equity, amortization, right? You're paying down that mortgage by about $47,000 over that same 9 years. And the home's going up in value. We assume 4% per year, that's $173,000 in gain. So if you take into account everything, and I mean everything, like you had to pay closing costs to get into the home, there's a cash flow difference that we talked about, that almost $12,000, right? And eventually you'll sell the home, and it's going to cost you realtor fees, right? 6%. So all in, if you're in the home for 9 years, as opposed to renting, you're going to gain $172,000 in wealth, in net worth. So your net worth will go up. If you buy now at high interest rates, if you buy now, your net worth will go up $172,000 over those 9 years. Now, let's say, well, I think 7 years and then we're going to move. Okay, well, let's look at 7. You're still $100,000 to the better, right? I'm going to put it back at 9 though for a minute, because the average is higher than 9. People are in their homes an average nowadays higher than that. So let's say, one more supposition, that rates have risen so much, and every time rates rise this much in a short period of time, guess what happens? They come back down, and that's a chance to refinance. And let's say you refinance it 4.5% in 2 years' time. Well, your blended rate is a little bit less than this, but let's say over the 9 years, it's somewhat close to 5, right? So you were at 7 for a couple of years, and you're at 4.5 for the rest of it. You blend it to about 5. Guess what? Your cash flow just improved a lot. But here's the thing. So this is where people say, well, I'll just wait for rates to come down and then buy. Okay, but what happens when rates come down and then you buy? Well, one thing happens, and that is everyone who's kind of thinking, should I or shouldn't I, who's on the fence, on the other side of the fence, waiting, jumps into the market, and home prices keep going up faster. And so my take is, I think now's a perfect time to buy, lock in a price. Make sure you get a good deal. I mean, you're not going to get 50% off, but you're going to get a good deal, maybe closing costs paid by the seller, and lock in that price, and then just refinance, and then watch as all the neighborhood sells 2 years from now when rates hit 4 or 4.5%, and you go up in equity, right? Your equity just keeps going up even faster, and you build net worth more. So that's my take. If you want to run these numbers yourself with your rent, your purchase price, your suppositions of how fast or slow home prices will go up, let's do it. Just reach out. And if you need a pre-approval, we'll do that too. I ran long. I hope stay safe, and we'll talk soon.